the material from my trip to England on a tape, and it will be the Lapwood Wilton family reunion, March the 9th, 1997. And before we get underway, I want to point out that there are some errata. The first thing is there are a couple of times when I'm taking pictures of old photographs, in my effort to be absolutely super precise, I accidentally call my grandfather Frank Lapwood when he is clearly Frank Wilton. Secondly, at one point during the reunion, I take a picture of a lady with blonde hair. It's a picture of a photograph who has 3 children. Now, I call her Wendy. Wendy is actually Christine's daughter. She is actually Karina, and these are her children. Karina is Norma's daughter. Additionally, I make reference to the fact that Kevin's mother and father are at the reunion. Kevin is actually the son of Norma's first husband and not of Ian, who is at the reunion. And at one point, I get up from the table, or from filming at the table of the Golden Oldies, and fail to notice that the camera is still on, and there's a lot of very drunk-looking photography of floors, walls, etc. Well, as you can see, it's March the 9th, 1997, and we're going to have a Lapwood Wilton family reunion. And I'm standing in the front yard at Shirley and Uncle Leslie's, and in the background you can probably see in the mist the M11, which is the motorway that runs near their house, down which a lot of the people will be coming to the reunion. Now, if I swing around, what we have here is Goose Lane, which is the little lane that leads up to their house, and in about an hour people will start arriving. And now I'm going to swing around. There's their caravan, and this is their house. And there are no cars in front of the house because, as you'll see later, we've moved them next door to Heidi's to leave plenty of room in the driveway for the visitors. Here, in fact, are the very first people to arrive. This is my cousin Kim, her husband Mark, and somewhere in there should be 2 small children. Let's wait and see. Here comes Mark and Kim on the other side. And presumably before too long they will be revealing the 2 children. This must be Chantal. I've never met Chantal before. Chantal is 2, yes, 2?
Not quite.
Not quite 2. No, there goes Chantal to Grandma.
Come on, darling. Hello.
And here comes Kim with Luke, who is 5 months, yes? 5 months?
Yes, there he is.
Hello, Luke.
Just waked up.
And there's Grandma standing in the door holding Chantal, the only granddaughter out of 5 grandchildren.
Grandma's little princess, aren't you? What
yes, so what is happening out there?
Say princess.
Yes. Now what we have here is a handwritten notice Shirley put on the door to say next door for drinks, because she has the tables all set up inside the house, so when people arrive at around 11:30 or so, if they want a gin and tonic or a sherry, they have to go next door to Heidi's. So I'm going to swing around. I'm going to swing around here, and there is Heidi's house next door, and beyond Heidi's is actually Naomi and Ken's, and that is Heidi's Mark, that's her husband's mother, and her husband. Now I'm going to just walk over and get a front picture of Heidi's house. Okay, this is Heidi's house. You can see Heidi, one of their cars in front. And as you can see, we've put our cars round the back. The grey one that you see closest to the camera is the one that I've rented. It's a Vauxhall Corsair. It's absolutely minuscule in their house. And then they have this very interesting tree. This is a weeping pussy willow. And what you do seemingly, is you buy the pussy willow and then you have to pull the branches over and immobilize them, and it will grow into this weeping form. I think it's rather lovely. Back over to Shirley and Uncle Leslie's house, and now I'm going to walk over and film the tables as they're all set up to eat. There's Mark going in the house. That's Mark 2, as opposed to Mark 1, who lives here. Both the girls married Marks. And I'm going to go over and go in the house and film the tables before people come in and start eating and destroy the symmetry. Okay, this is the dining room, and it's been set up for what Shirley calls the old folk. So these are the people of my dad and Uncle Leslie's generation, and there's dessert and cheese and everything. And then I'll swing around, and here is the table all set up. There's partay, or smoked salmon, and you can see all the bottles of wine and the crackers and everything, very festive looking. Now I'm going to go across to the dining room, or no, this is the dining room, across to the living room, and see, whoops, there's Mark filling up the camera, probably wishing he weren't there. Okay, and this is the other room. So we've got one long table here that seats 10, and then another table here for another 6. And this is Shirley's attempt at getting everybody arranged by generations. So you can see at the top here, Wilton and Lapwood. This is my grandmother. And this is Frank Wilton, who was my grandfather. And some of the people who are coming today are his children. These are actually my step relatives here. And then over here, under Wilton and Lapwood, we have, there's me, Zachary, and all the various other people. I have a copy of this. This is Jean and her daughter Judith and Ken, and we're over in Heidi's kitchen. And what I'm going to do is ask each of them who they are and where they fit in the family. So we'll go to Jean first. Okay, hi Jean, state your name please. Jean
Heidi.
Hutchinson. Hutchinson. Okay, and how do you fit in this Lapwood family?
God, I've got to sort this out, haven't I?
Oh, your father
Was my
film.
father was your grandmother's brother,
Yes, and what was his name?
Bert.
Right.
Herbert Arthur.
And he married,
Elizabeth Elsie Childs.
and you still live in Barnet?
Yes.
Lived in Barnet the whole time, huh?
Well, no, we used to live in St Albans, but then we moved to Barnet.
Oh, but Uncle Bert and Auntie Elsie always lived in Barnet, didn't they? No.
No, they because I was born in Chadwell Heath. They lived there first. Then we went to St Albans, and then we ended up at Barnet.
The thing that I remember most about your father was he did wrought iron work.
That's right. Yes, we've still got.
You
some
still
of
got
his
some?
bits, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I remember. Right. Okay. Well, this is Ken, who is married to Jean. Right. How did you meet Jean, Ken?
Oh, years ago.
Yeah. Well, I gathered it was years ago.
I think now. At a firm, when Jean's firm's dance at Southgate.
Okay. So what? You went to the dance with
Went
a
to the
friend,
dance,
or?
met Jean, introduced to her, and then I went to the dance. I think they had one a month. Mm-hmm. But so after a while, we started going out.
Was it love at first sight?
Oh no, no.
No.
Yes, I had to sort of.
Work our way up to
That's
it,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Well, great. And then they have a daughter who is Judith over here, and Judith ended up doing something not so terribly dissimilar from what I do.
That's right, ecotoxicology.
Right.
My research was on PAHs, and I remember your father coming over and giving me your thesis to have a look at.
Oh, how dreadful.
Which was, I was absolutely amazed, actually. I found it really interesting. But I was born in Barnet, and I've lived in Barnet all my life. Very staid, I'm afraid.
So last time I talked to you, you were working for a consultancy or something. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm still working for them part-time. I'm also an editorial assistant on a scientific journal.
Great.
Got a visiting research fellowship at a university, so I spread my net quite widely, which these days is a good idea because, you know, there's no security of tenure anymore, so you just try and keep work going as you can.
Yeah, we're fighting in America about tenure right now, and I keep trying to tell them that they shouldn't be so sure we're going to have it forever because it's disappearing other places.
Oh, it certainly has in this country, yes. You know, sort of mostly it's sort of 1 2 year contracts, 5 years if you're lucky.
Yeah, because it's really nice because I have tenure and it's lovely.
You are lucky.
Okay.
Am I really?
Yes, you are. You're going to tell me who you are.
I'm really
Really what?
Wilton.
Okay, and how do you connect into this whole gang of people?
Oh heck. Yes, I'm auntie to you, aren't I?
Yes.
I'm Les's sister-in-law.
That's right, right. So your ex-husband Frank's father was my dad and Uncle Leslie's father also.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
okay, so
yes.
that's
I was married to Frank.
right, right. And you're from Croydon.
Yes.
You live there all the time?
Yes.
I'll ask you the same question I asked Jean and Ken. How did you meet Uncle Frank?
He came to stay with us during the war. Beginning
Oh,
of the war. He was at the top of the road doing a course, and he needed somewhere to stay. And at that time, we were trying to eke out our money, and he came down to stay with us. And that was it.
that's the end
And
of the
it was love
story.
at first sight.
Oh, it was love
It was,
Oh.
yes. We met in August and we married the following April. We engaged at Christmas and married the following April on
Good
Easter Saturday,
grief. Great, great. And that was during the war.
1941.
So you had one of those weddings without very much anything at all.
We did quite well actually. We managed to get a cake with proper icing on it because my uncle in London had a business that he had a dairy and he sold Dyson sugar and all that sort of thing. So he managed to get it for us, and we saved up our coupons to get fruit and all that sort of thing for it. So we did have a proper cake.
Did you have a dress? A new dress?
And I made it.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, was it really?
Wasn't it? Yes. Yes. With a train.
Wow.
And a veil. Long veil.
That must have been quite something for 1941,
It was.
yeah.
It was. Yes.
Yeah, great.
Yes. Yes. My best friend lent me her veil.
Oh, lovely.
Yes, I made all of that.
Great. Okay, well now I'm going to go over and interview your older daughter.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
So this is the older daughter I was telling you about. This is Norma. Norma, oh, maybe we should have everybody else leave the room because I could ask you how old you are. When were you born?
1944, right at the very end.
Yes, so
I'm only just 52.
yes, right. So she's 2 years younger than I am.
Wonderful.
Yes, she does look wonderful. This well, so do I, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Thank you. This family holds up very well.
So
Okay,
she's too tall to be a Wilton. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
that's right. Right. You are pretty tall, actually. When I think of it, are you the tallest Wilton cousin?
Yes.
Later on, I'm going to get somebody
Yes.
to take a picture with the 5 of us together because I don't think there's a single picture in the world of all 5 of us together.
No,
there?
I don't think there is.
No.
But, well, I don't know. I have got a photograph, but I can't remember who's in it. I know you are, and I know I am.
Yeah, I don't
And
think
I
they were
can't
all.
remember who else is in it.
Yeah, because after the Heidi and Kim and Heidi were born, I went to America right after that. They were
That's
just
right.
tiny when I went to America. So.
I think the first house that Chris and Stan had when they got married, I think we met up there one time, and I can't remember what the occasion was. But I seem to remember. Maybe that's what it was. I honestly can't remember. But somewhere there was a photograph, but I can't remember who was in it.
Okay, great. Now I'm going to get your husband. Okay. Please state your full name
Ian McPherson Harper.
and your
And
Mischief. Is that what it is? Are we going to have a number underneath and a profile with another number underneath? Yes. So, when did you meet Norma?
Must be about 20 odd years ago now.
Good grief. Okay, how did you meet her? Do you remember?
Yes, it was at a folk club in Faversham, I think. It's a long time ago to remember.
Yeah, isn't it?
It wasn't actually, it was at Sheila's house.
Well,
Yeah, the wife always remembers.
yes.
So what do you do, Ian?
I work in the perfumery industry.
Oh, I've never met anybody who did that for.
a company that at the moment belongs to Unilever.
What do you do?
I'm involved in matching other people's perfumes, basically. It's sort of, not exactly pirating, but industrial espionage.
So what, so you use scientific methods to analyse what's in it?
You've got it in one, yeah.
Yeah, sort of
actually, I get the coffee, everybody else uses the salt.
Yeah. So is it a good business? I mean, do people buy these
Oh yes,
knockoffs?
it's not. We don't provide bootleg perfume.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we might get a customer that comes to us and say, we want something that smells like Chanel No. 5. Can you make it for us?
Yeah, okay.
And then we will analyse Chanel No. 5, and then we will say, here is Chanel No. 5. You call it something else.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I've seen. Well, in America, they have companies that say, if you like Chanel No. 5, you'll love
That's
North
right.
Sea No. 5.
That is exactly
Yes.
it. Yes.
Right. So
There's
there's.
also Irish Ocean No. 5. That's
Yeah.
another close one.
Right. Okay, thank you, Ian. So this is cousin number 3 chronologically. This is
That's
Christine. Okay, what's your full name, Christine?
Christine Jones.
Okay, and when were you born?
I was born September 1946.
Okay, so we've got 42, 44, and 46. We're doing pretty well so far.
Yes.
Yes. And how many children do you have?
Have 2.
Okay.
Wendy, who's 24, Neil, who's 22, nearly 23.
And what are they up to?
Wendy is working for Canon, and she is a member of the Girls Brigade. She's an officer in the Girls Brigade. And Neil, he works for Canon. He works in computers, and he's engaged to Lucy.
Oh, wow, great. I just bought a Canon printer. Right.
Excellent. Well done.
Except it came with a CD disc that has all kinds of exciting things on your CD-ROM disc that I can do,
Right.
but I don't have a CD-ROM drive. It's most frustrating. Every time you buy something, you have to go out and buy something else to go with it, and then you have to buy something else and something else, right? Well, good. And we have over here your other half, right?
Other halves.
That's me.
Other half. Okay, so let's crawl over here. Okay, would you care to introduce yourself to the people of America?
I'm Stanley Jones.
And how did you meet Christine?
Where did we meet? Through a church, I think.
We went to the same church.
Went to the same church. Yes.
Was it love at first sight, or did it take a while?
Well, I had to, you know.
There were about 20 girls and 1 lad.
Yes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had to pick of the shoes, you know.
Wow.
Now, have I made the right choice? I don't know. After all these years.
Yeah, you're too used to it to,
Yeah.
to move
I'm
on.
not complaining.
Oh, great. That sounds great. Good. Okay. And, all right, the first thing we need is your full name.
Kevin Robert Harvey.
Okay, so, and your mother is?
Norma.
Okay, so we've actually gone a little bit out of order because I probably should have done your mother and father and then come back in and done you.
Oh, that's Mum and stepfather. Just to confuse you.
So what do you do with yourself during the week?
Work.
But yeah, most of us unfortunately have to work. I don't really know too many people who are independently wealthy. What do you do?
Do? What, for work, you mean?
Yes.
I'm a labourer, factory labourer.
Okay.
Maintenance.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Okay. So now so you're the last. Does Norma have any grandchildren?
Yes, by Karina.
Oh, right. Okay.
My
So there's another generation down from you. Yeah, that's what I mean. Right on the family tree. Right. Okay. Thank you. Go. Yes, I know. I was right. I'll move
Put your
around.
backlight on. Right. Well, Marguerite came to stay and we decided we would have a Christmas lunch, bearing in mind it's the middle of the summer. So I got the Christmas tree out.
Yeah, Shirley thinks we don't have Christmas in America.
Yeah, and we had decorations and Christmas pudding and what have you. And we decided that we would have indoor fireworks. So Marguerite said, this I must get photographs of, rushed upstairs, rushed downstairs, missed the bottom 2, broke 1 leg and dislocated the other ankle. So the ambulance man finally turned up and looked into the dining room at the debris of his Christmas dinner and Christmas tree, etc. and said, I've come across people like this before, you see. And so he said to Marguerite, you know, how are you feeling? So she breathed a few whiskey fumes over him and explained. how she was
You're
feeling.
painting a very bad picture of me, Shirley.
Eventually, we got her to the hospital, and they said, right, we think we're going to have to give you a general anaesthetic. Have you eaten? So she said yes, and they said, well, what have you had? And she said, well, I just had a Christmas lunch. See, so we got some very funny looks. Anyway, they sorted you out, didn't they? Very good, and we, with the help of Heidi, we got her special treatment at the airport. This happened on the Wednesday. She was going back to the States on the Sunday. So we managed to get a buggy and everything at the airport. It was good, but it made a feature for your holiday, didn't it?
And Nanny was very upset because she thought my boys ought to stay with me in the hospital and be sorry for me. And they went sightseeing. She couldn't. Well, they went down the pub, didn't they? They went down the pub.
They went down the pub and they went up to London.
Yeah, no.
Could they?
Oh.
It was great.
Okay, this is the family hamster. His name is Hamster. This is Nicholas. This is Heidi's oldest child, and actually I believe the hamster belongs to James, doesn't he, Nicholas? Yes. He's a very cute hamster and very tame, and he's come down to meet the family. And I think he's probably overwhelmed too. And this is Chantal,
Christmas, little boy,
who is Kim's little girl.
Yeah.
And she likes the hamster too. Look, she's holding her hands out, but oh, there we go. All right, and this is James, who just came into the picture. James is the hamster's daddy. Right, James? Yes, here we go. Oh, there's Hamster, star of the show.
She gets to it, we're going to put her off.
Right.
I've got enough to cope with the two of them.
Coming by here. My children.
Your children?
Yes. Well, because they can't be here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move around. Okay, and this is my Auntie Hazel. And Auntie Hazel, what is your full name?
Pardon?
Your full name?
Name?
Yeah, name.
Hazel? Betty? Lapwood.
There you are. See, Auntie Hazel is one of the people who's actually got Lapwood in her name. How do you fit in the family?
George's wife.
And how is George connected to all the other Lapwood?
Eldest son of George and... Can't remember my mother-in-law's name now. It's such a long while ago.
Do you know, that's funny because my father asked me the other day what her name was. And nobody seems to remember what her name is.
No, I can't remember either.
Your grandmother. Her first...
No, my mother-in-law.
Yes, well, that's my...
Oh, yes, you're...
Is it? Yes. No, wait a minute.
No, it's not your grandmother.
Oh, no, that's right. No. George... Oh, that's right. It would have been George's grandmother's name. That's right. We're trying to find. It's all right. We'll sort it all out. We'll go look at the family tree.
I shouldn't, Marguerite.
Well, I don't know. We've got to find out who these people are. Yeah. I mean, Americans are always interested in genealogy.
Are they?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Terribly.
I was saying to Stan coming up, at one time there were just us Lapwoods in the telephone directory. Now there's a lot of Lapwoods, and where they come from I haven't a clue.
They're nothing to do with this family, have they?
Not
moved
as far
in?
as I know.
It's an interesting name. Do you know where it comes from, Lapwood? Because what you did, you just added a syllable, right? You were
Yes,
Hazelwood,
that's
right?
right.
Okay, Hazel Lapwood.
That's right.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, well, later on we're going to meet Auntie Hazel's son, Gerald, but he isn't here yet. Yeah, he'll be here shortly, I'm sure. Well, Jackie did say she might want to wait a while and see if she felt better, and then she'd come. So maybe he's just waiting to see. Okay.
Because she and Beaton lived together.
Now, wait a minute. Now,
Pinemont Road. Yeah, Pinemont Road and Empress Avenue. Or something.
Now we need to back up here. This is my dad, as everybody knows, Stanley. All right. And they're trying to remember about grandparents. Now your Lapwood grandparents were what? George and Ellen.
Yeah, seems so.
Okay.
As far as we know.
Okay. And where did they live?
Well, they lived in Romford.
Romford.
But after he died, I don't know where they lived then, but then she and Beat lived in Ilford when Beat was working at Mitsui's in London.
Isn't George, grandfather George, the one who was the surveyor or something at the council? And I've got the picture of with the chain of office.
Council surveyor, but nothing really than a glorified linksman.
Okay, but he looks very
Had a
important.
horse that pulled into all the pubs
Oh, how nice.
without any direction whatsoever.
All
I'll get back to you later. Oh, fine. Now, see, I'm getting everybody on camera, and you're another relative who's grown into their parent.
This must be Leonard.
You think so?
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. You look just like your dad.
When did I last see him?
A long time ago. A long time ago.
Yes.
And that's
Cheryl's daughter.
Yes.
Sorry to hear your mother's ill.
Well, I say ill. She's not exactly ill. She's not exactly on top of it. Yes.
It's like us all.
It is.
Yeah.
And
Old
she gets a bit too, shall I say, unsociable. To be honest with you. And she will sort of doesn't like getting dressed up, doesn't like getting ready. It's all too much aggravation. To be honest with you, that's how she is. It's a shame, really.
Okay. Thank you. And getting Leonard into perspective here, you are the son of
Leonard Hale.
Right, and his. Now, Auntie M, she's your dad's mother? Your mother's mother. Your mother's mother. Auntie Sissy's mother. Okay. Right. And she was married to one of the brothers.
Yeah, Uncle Harry.
Right. Who was one of my grandmother's brothers. I'm trying to get this straight, see, so when I get back, I've got it all remembered, so I can tell my kids.
White curly hair.
Yes.
He had like that, vaguely, yeah.
This is one of the few tall Lapwoods.
Yes.
True, yeah, well, Richard wasn't. Well, Richard was pretty tall. Richard wasn't.
Yeah.
But George was tall.
Yes, because we have to move down the generations. Okay, tell me your name. Okay, hi Cheryl. Hi. We've never met. Who we got there? Oh, hi. We got something tickling my stomach. All right. Now this is Gerald. We met Auntie Hazel a while back, and this is Gerald, who is Auntie Hazel's son.
Yeah, I'm her little baby.
A little baby, and this is another grandson of one of the brothers and sisters, of whom one of the sisters was my grandmother. I think anyway. He's the same generation that I am. He's sort of one of the cousins. Right, Gerald?
That's right. Yes, we are the same generation. These ones are in between us, though, aren't they?
Well, no. Kim and Heidi are the same generation too. They're the same generation.
We're supposed to be the same generation, but you're sort of...
Uncle Leslie slipped, right?
Yeah. But he started so late, didn't he? That was the trouble.
Right. And Gerald's married to a very nice lady called Jackie, who unfortunately is not feeling too good today.
She's here.
She's here. Oh, good. She got better. Oh, great.
She took these pills. I don't know what the hell they were, but...
Oh, great.
She had to take a handful of them 6 at a time.
Okay, I'm going, that's great.
Into Bournemouth.
Yes.
A lucrative run on their round. I used to haul into the... one place I used to go to was 40s bakery, where they made all the fancy goods for the motorways and the hotels all around. And they buy something like 30 or 40 gallons of cream a day.
Really?
And I used to say to the baker today, what do you want tomorrow? And he said, I think I want about 35 gallons. I said, just ride the van in, offload the stuff in cardboard, plastic lined cartons. Load it onto a trolley and push it in and say 30 gallons, and he said, I could probably do 32. Well, what I'm going to do is go and get another 2, write Horton's Bakery, 32 gallons on the invoice and give it to him. I had to work out any figures. And I used to do all the Bournemouth hotels, the big ones in the middle of Bournemouth, and it's a jolly looking farm. I was making it as a mini store.
This is my dad explaining about how he used to deliver cream and things to the stores and the hotels.
30 gallons.
Right, down in Dorset way.
Well, I buy them like that. Yes. They call them a pearl. And I buy them 3 gallons. Well, my aunt and uncle live near Milton. Barton-on-Sea. Do you know that at all?
The firm I had a connection with had a branch in Barton-on-Sea, John Kelsey and Sons.
I don't know sort of people there, but we visit. Looked across the Solent last time we went. It hailed when we were down there, about 3 weeks ago.
Well, I came here from Dorset. Where did you come from? I say Dorset.
Oh, it's a lovely county.
Because Marguerite said, well, the day after my wife died, I phoned her and she said, shall I come over? And I said, no, you don't really come over this funeral. So after that she phoned us and I've been on to Washington, nothing to stop me coming out. I'm the father of an American. And because of that, I go as of right, unless I'm a communist or something like that. Yes, they can't stop me going. But I still have to do the same sort of things as everybody else. I have what they call a green card. You've heard of a green card that illegal aliens haven't got. And where's my green card? And that allows me to live and work permanently. That gets me back in when I get to America going back. That gets me back in, you see.
So you're an alien then?
Yeah. Well, I don't see any joy.
He's a little green man from Mars, Jackie.
I can see that, yes.
I don't see any good reason for becoming an American citizen. There's no good reason for not becoming one.
No,
but,
are you an alien?
Yes, I have. Yes. No, I'm a citizen now. I became a citizen in 1974.
Everybody else there.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you're in something like science, where you get money from the government, there's a lot more money available if you're a citizen. Plus, when you live somewhere, I vote and everything, you know, might as well. So, By the way, this is Jackie, who's married to Gerald. So I've got to introduce her to you. And she and my dad just discovered a Dorset connection. Her folks live in Dorset, which is really
The thing is that I do
yours, that's what we do. There's two pairs, because there's a pair for my uncle and a pair for my dad.
Which of those? Are they the same?
Yes. Yes, because I've had a pair for uncle and a pair for my dad.
Tiramisu, this, or cheese and biscuit.
I'm the kind of person that goes to a buffet and takes a little bit of all the Thank you.
There's some plates there. They will have it on top. That's more of my cup of tea, as it were. Okay, this is a photo of Neil and Wendy, and they are Christine's children. Christine is a step cousin. Her grandfather, Wilton, is or was my grandfather, Wilton. And there's another picture that I'm going to move over to. And this is Neil with his fiancée. Let me see if I can get any closer. That's a bit difficult. Back to Neil and Wendy. And we have some other photos that I'm going to do later.
I'm not saying anything, so...
This is Mark, Larry. Let's get back. You'll probably look better if you get further back. You've got to move away so I can... You're not with your back to the light. All right. This is the gorgeous Mark I. Right, oh Lord, that's cute. Yeah, he is married. Very cute. Yes, he's actually not related to me except by marriage, so that's why he's not quite as.
Airline pilot like, is he?
Yeah, no.
He's not your average airline pilot.
Well, if he put a hat on, you know, it's so bad.
Looks better in a hat.
Better in a hat. Yes.
In bed.
He wears a hat in bed. Yeah, right. So this is Mark Pierce, and he's probably looks like this and has lost all his hair because he is married to
this with the leather trousers that upsets Grandad.
Right, leather trousers, but they're not as bad as that jean skirt, which came up to her middle. Yes. So all right, put that down. You're drinking again.
No.
That's Ribena. It's Ribena.
It is not. I take after my cousin Maggie. She taught me everything I knew.
Right. This is the Essex girl that they tell jokes about.
But I haven't got white shoes and I don't bonk in my car. Ever.
It's all right. Americans don't know what bonking is.
Don't they? All right.
So you're safe.
I don't know what bonking will be.
Or shagging, apparently.
Shagging, yes.
No, they don't do that either.
Don't they?
No.
And screwing, probably, then.
That's more like it. This is terrible. I'm going to have to edit this out. I can't show this to my friends. All right, so now while we're talking about going downhill, this is Mark II.
Mark I.
No, you were right. Actually, this isn't fair because you ought to be Mark III because my Mark was a member of the family before anybody else's Mark.
Mark arrived first, but he's the baby. He was younger than me.
Is this Mark?
Yes. Mark the Younger.
Mark the Younger. Right, does the model improve each time? Is it a better model each time, right?
Obviously not.
This is the father of Chantal and Luke. Yeah. Right, cool hand. Luke is a better looking version without the beard.
He is at the moment. But he's got 34 years of age.
Okay, this is Wendy, who is Norma's daughter. So Wendy's the same generation as Mark and Stephen. And this is, I assume, James, her son. Okay, this is also James. So this is the oldest child, Wendy, who is the daughter of Norma. So this is James, who is the same generation as Zachary. And these are Wendy's two other children, who are Zoe and... help, I've forgotten, I'll be right back. Zoe and Stephanie. Stephanie's the older one, and Zoe's the baby. So Wendy's other children. Okay, this is Luke. This is the youngest of all the children. This is Kim's little boy. Hi, Luke. Hi, Luke. Hi, Luke. Got a big smile? Have Naomi tickle you under the chin? And that's your cousin Robert. That's Heidi's little boy, Robert. Right. There's Robert and there's Luke. Yes. Right. See, Robert is a real ham, aren't you? You like playing for the camera. Right. Luke is basically wobbly. Aren't you? You're just wobbly. Your hand. Your hand. Your hand. Do you want to clap hands? There we go. Yes, Robert's the ham, right? Robert wants to get in the camera there. You're just embarrassed, aren't you? You're just embarrassed now you're on camera. Come on, you've been smiling lots and lots. Smile again. Smile again. Very good, very good, very good. There you go. That's much better. Oh, a lovely smile, because you're generally smiley. Yes. Oh.
No, don't bite. Can you see?
This is Kim. This is my older cousin. And this is Chantal. Yes.
So I quickly rang her up and said, look, this is only 2 weekends. This is the last weekend we'll be flying into Monaco.
No, very nice. Very nice.
That's it. Can you blow a kiss? And can you say, love you, Maggie?
Love you, Chantal.
Go. That's it. Can you say love you, Maggie, again?
I'm getting mummy now.
Oh, I don't know.
You have to get mummy.
I love Maggie too as well.
Oh, I love Kim.
Especially when she brings my husband Carl magazines.
Especially when she sends me liqueur chocolates. But it's not a prerequisite.
Oh, we need to find some translation of some videotape for you, to American tape again, and then send
Oh, really?
it out.
Of the kids?
I'll get some.
Oh, great. This is my great-grandmother, Ellen Lapwood. She's my dad's grandmother and little grandma's mother, Ellen Lapwood. Must have been done somewhere towards the end of the last century, I would think. There we go, that's better. And this is my dad when he was a baby with Grandma Wilton, his mother. Okay, this is a matchbook cover from a pub that my grandfather and grandmother used to own. They only owned it for about 2 years because Grandma didn't like being in the pub business. Now I'm going to turn it to the side. It says cars for hire on reasonable terms. And then on the back, there's a little poem. When your head feels soft and your heels feel queer, and your thoughts rise up like froth from beer, and your knees are weak, and your breath is strong, and you laugh like hell at a damn soft song, you're drunk, you blank, you're drunk. Now, I'm surprised my grandmother was too ladylike for this sort of life.
He's painting, and
Grandma's
then
mum,
half a second
Nell
died.
Price. Look at that hair scarf.
He used to puff it up with artificial horsehair, and the horsehair and things like that.
No, there's no picture of her, what's her name again?
Well, I think I've got some more somewhere. I'll have to have another look.
There's John Price. He's a smart looking bloke there. There's some letters there. I don't know what they are, but
They won a cup for something, 3 cups or
could
something.
well
like
be.
that.
Could well be. That's the interesting looking ones.
Yeah, that's good.
That one was in.
Did you leave me anything? I never got it. I'm not worried.
You should have you got something. I thought there was a 3-way split and you got it.
Did I?
Should be John Fidden on there. I thought it is. Look here, do we?
Okay, this is my grandfather Wilton, my dad and Uncle Leslie's father. He was in the Navy for a while, or at least he was at sea, and this is his uniform. Okay, now we have Frank Charles Wilton's wife, i.e. my grandmother, Grandma Lillian Rose Wilton, born Lapwood, and these are her 2 little boys, Uncle Leslie and my dad. Uncle Leslie here, that's Uncle Leslie. Leslie, my dad, Stanley Wilton, and my grandmother. This must be about 1922, I would think. This is Grandma Wilton, née Lapwood's mother. This is Ellen Lapwood. So this is my great-grandmother, my dad's grandmother. Ellen Lapwood. Everybody at the gathering said she looks like me. Okay, now this is Uncle Harry. This is one of my grandmother Wilton, née Lapwood's brothers. So this is Harry. Sorry about that, got turned off accidentally. Harry Lapwood, Grandma's brother. This is a photo of the Army Cadet Force at some point. And it says it's taken in Folkestone, and my uncle, who was a major in the Army Cadet Force, is on here. Let me see whether we can get him. Let's see, focus. Get this better focused. Okay, now I know which one he is. He's that one. Immediately there's one row back. There's a man who's sitting taller than everybody else. And Uncle Leslie is sitting on his left. Okay, that's Uncle Leslie. On the right, as we're looking at it, of the tall man. It's another Army Cadet Force photo. And this time we have Uncle Leslie sitting to the right of the taller man. It's Uncle Leslie there in the dark horn-rim type glasses. This is Uncle Leslie in a dress uniform that some cadet do. Very smart. Okay, these are the parents of Jean, who is the mother of Judith. This is Grandma's brother, Bert or Herbert, and he married this lady whose name is Elsie, and in fact this is Judith. So this is Bert Lapwood, his wife Elsie, and Judith. Now one of Bert's sisters, also Grandma's sister, was Auntie Beat, Beatrice Maud. Now obviously this is from a very different time period when Auntie Beat was a young woman. Beatrice Maud Lapwood. Pretty good looking, huh? She never got married. She lost her fiancé in World War I. Never got married. Okay, this is my grandmother's wedding. Lillian Rose Lapwood to Frank Charles Wilton. And the bridesmaid standing on Grandma's right is Auntie Doll, Florence, her younger sister. And on my grandfather's left is Auntie Beat, Beatrice Maud, my grandmother's sisters. Now the little boy standing closest to my grandmother is Frank, her stepson-to-be. In other words, he is the child of my grandfather and an earlier wife, Elizabeth Wiltshire. I don't know who the other little boy is, but the story is they just had a fight over whose basket is which, and he looks like he's really angry. Grandmother and grandfather on their wedding day. Bridesmaid Auntie Doll, bridesmaid Auntie Beat, and Frank, my step-uncle, father of Norma and Christine. Okay, this we think is the oldest of the Lapwood children. This is Aunt Louisa. She married a man called Liney, I think maybe Alf, I'm not sure anyway. They moved to Australia, so somewhere in Australia I have some relatives. They were in Adelaide, but we've lost contact with them now. That's great Aunt Louisa, Lou. And this is the oldest of the boys. This is Charles Lapwood, so this is my grandmother's older brother, Charles. Never met either of these. Another picture of my grandmother, Lillian Rose Wilton.